I think unfortunately, if agents aren't getting on board now, how quickly tech is moving. I mean, even just look from when we started with cell phones, how fast everything has moved. You have to get on now and learn at least some of it.
Hey everybody, it's Kathy Byrnes here with Real Estate Riches, and today my guest is Erica Wolfe out of Florida. Hey girl.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm intrigued with your whole setup here. I got lots of questions.
Okay. Well,
So,
shoot.
give me a little background about you and your team and where you're at.
Okay, so I am 17 years in the industry. We are a full team of 8 out of Jupiter, Florida, which is the most northern section of Palm Beach County.
Hmm.
Born and raised here. Most of my team, but 2 girls, are also born and raised here. I'm an empty nester. My children are 20 and 18. Um, and we do a lot of our business based off of our digital sales funnel and our mailers, is what I would say most of our success is attributed to.
Oh, good, because that was going to be one of my questions. When did you decide you wanted to start a team?
So my team started about 8 years ago. I was 9 years in and working 80 to 100 hours a week. So it was just needed at
Yeah,
that point,
yeah,
and kind of my hand was forced into it. And I really do wish I had done it sooner.
really. What were some of the tipping points for you that said, hey, I got to do this? And where did you start? Did you start with an assistant? Did you start with a buyer's agent? Tell us that.
So the tipping point was honestly lack of sleep and no longer being able to show up for my family the way I wanted to.
Mhm.
Like I said, my children were younger at that point. I really did need to be there for them. And I started with a buyer's agent, and I will tell you that's also the wrong way to do it. I should have started with a transaction coordinator and then a showing assistant and transition them to a full-time buyer's agent that
Mhm.
way. But other people can learn from my mistakes now.
Yeah, well, and that's really the point of the channel is to really help agents who are in that same situation say, okay, what am I supposed to do? It's interesting when I had a business partner and I kept saying, we need an assistant. We're buried. We could scale so much better if we had help. And the owner of the franchise kept saying, no, you got to get to 100,000 each. And this was 15 years ago. And I'm like, no, I'll get to 100,000 faster if you let me get this. And it's my business. But my partner was listening and saw that it was going to cost some money. I said, no, it's going to save money. See the bigger picture. And when we finally did, it was a blessing because I'm not organized. My partner was the detail person, and but we still didn't have systems in place. And so we were scrambling constantly. And the market was moving along, especially what we were doing. We were doing short sales and things like that, which were time consuming. And we needed systems. And man, we hired the right gal who, do you do the disc profile at all?
We have done it at a team meeting, but we don't live by it.
Okay. I wanted a very strong C, which is the organized person, because I'm not. And that's who we got. And she was amazing. Just, I knew what I wanted, but I didn't know how to put it into action. And she just created all that for us. And then she became our buyer's agent slash assistant at that point, because now we were free. We could focus on the listings and she could do the buyers for us, which was great.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
And so now you've got, you said 9 on the team?
8 of us total,
Eight
including
total.
me.
And what roles do they play?
So I have me, which is the team lead. We don't have just buyers agents anymore. Everybody could do everything because the most recent hire is now 2 years in, but my
Mhm.
oldest one is 8 years.
Mm.
That's been with me. So really, it did start with her doing buyers only, and then the second hire only did buyers only as well. But since then, we've transitioned and just over time been able to train on both fronts. I have a full-time manager slash like operations slash marketing. She has a lot of hats she has to wear,
Yeah.
and a full-time videographer.
Wow. And your manager, she's salary?
Yes,
Yes. And your videographer, is that per deal?
salary.
Oh, salary. Okay, good. So that's what people need to understand, that there are costs in running your business, just like any business, and you're going to have to hire staff. And but I can see why you would have them do both buy and sell at a certain point, because they've established their own book of business, right?
Yep,
Yep.
yep.
And so now I asked a little bit in advance about AI, and you said it helps streamline your SOP. So, want to talk to us about that?
Sure. So we are very systems oriented on the team, and it was the only way I would be able to let go of some control since I was a one man show for so long.
Sure.
So I've have very detailed SOPs. Since AI has come along, a lot of those, what used to take us an hour, 2 hours of getting all of those things done, going to YouTube Buddy and making sure we have the right SEO words and the right
Right.
things clicked here and doing all these research on multiple different websites, we're able to just input a property, make a project folder, and basically shoot out all the marketing that we need for it, all of our copies, our captions, brochures, items like that. So it really has streamlined our process of getting our listings live, as well as we've made it like a hub for each of our properties. Has its own project, and we're able to build out our listing updates for the clients every week out of that,
Hmm.
just by having it input the data that's pulled from Zillow and Realtor and MLS and showing times. So we're able to give really good detailed reports of that. Those, I would say, at the moment are main drivers that we've consistently been using for the past 2 years. We now have, just in the past month, had Claude kind of take over our CRM and go through that and really built out. We have its own computer and station and doing all of that. But we've only been utilizing it for a month now. It's been great so far, but we shall see. We shall
Yeah.
see if it like ramps up the business for us.
So, what tool were you using to do the SOPs? Were you doing ChatGPT?
Yes, so we utilize ChatGPT for that still, and I use Trello, houses all of my SOPs, all of my
Mhm.
listings and items like that. So we're able to link those.
You can link Trello to ChatGPT.
Yeah, or even just take screenshots, copy paste the
Hmm.
SOP too. You can do both. So,
Okay. Most people won't even know what we're talking about,
yeah.
which is pretty, it's scary. And that's one of the reasons I really want to talk about AI on this channel, because so many agents, I was just teaching a thing on writing your articles using Claude in for LinkedIn. And I said the second biggest search engine that AI is using is LinkedIn articles. So to be found, if you're not doing LinkedIn articles where it talks about you and answering the questions, the AEO, do you know what I'm talking about? And so most don't. So the AEO was so essential. And I said, I was teaching them all the different systems, but I had a slide presentation, and I said, does anyone in here know about Gamma? And no one raised their hand. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Hmm.
Yeah, see, I love talking to someone who gets me. And and I said, all I did to Gamma was say, here's the course that I'm going to do. Here's my process of how I do this in here. Now create the slides for me to be able to present this to the group. And I'm just going through, going through, going through. And I said, that took seconds basically to create that whole slide thing of the presentation, that because I knew it, well, seconds once I just talked it in, but that's all I did was talk it in. And it created a marvelous presentation to be able to give to the agents. And I gave them the slides so they could see it. But I'm trying to wake agents up to the more detailed, like you're doing.
And I think, unfortunately, if agents aren't getting on board now, how quickly tech is moving. I mean, even just look from when we started with cell phones, how fast everything has moved. You have to get on now and learn at least some of it. It's going to become too far advanced if you don't. And it's
Right.
going to be, you're going to be real late to the game trying to catch it up.
That's so true, Erica. I was I would say things like AEO, or you probably heard SEO, but do you know AEO? And have you heard of Claude? No, I've heard of it. People are talking about it, but they're so afraid, so they don't. And
Hmm.
I said, this is your business. You got to run this like a business. You need to be. I've been doing it. It sounds like you've been doing it at least 2 years. I've been doing it 3 years. And I used to be ahead of the game, and now I feel like I'm down here is in comparison to where it's all going.
It's moving very quickly.
Very
And there's still so much that they have that they haven't released to the general public whenever
right.
they decide to. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be a hard learning curve for even the ones utilizing it now.
The only thing that I do think is in the past 2, 3 years, like we've been doing, we've been watching the progression and learning it. And now it does so much for us that there will be agents that'll be able to step in where it'll be basically done for you with much simpler prompts and much simpler guidance. And that can be a good thing if they do it.
Yes.
So, how you mentioned earlier how you stay in touch with your clients. Talk about that. Like, what was that, a newsletter or what are you doing?
Oh, so we do email blast every week also, but no, on our listings on Tuesdays, if they're active, we do listing updates. But
Hmm.
as far as staying in touch with clients, we're reaching out to them all the time. Our active sellers and buyers is always open communication. But on Tuesday, it's really helped to streamline. Here's all your views. Here's all your saves. One week we do basically a marketing update. Here's what the ads are performing, and they get the showings and the Zillows and Realtor.com data. Every other week they get an update of what homes in their price point and in their area have gone pending, which ones have sold, how many days on market it took for them to go pending, how many days for them to get sold, what price they're at, price per square foot. And it's a link that's clickable to them for those properties. It just helps us with a conversation on
Yeah,
if we're priced correctly.
I
So
like that.
after those get sent out, the agent then can make a phone call to them and say, hey, we need to adjust. Look, this
Right.
one was on 3 days, it went under. Yours has been on 3 weeks, and we haven't, and
Yes.
they're 2 streets away.
Yeah. Well, that's brilliant, and that's just smart business to be able to keep your clients informed. And that's a common complaint that sellers will make is, my agent does, they just took the listing and I haven't seen them. So that's another important piece that you add to your business protocol, right?
Absolutely.
So you said consistency and learning is one of the things that makes your team grow really well. So I see the consistency with the listings, but how are you capturing business? Obviously referrals because you're doing everything right, so you got happy clients. Are you doing anything with leads?
Yes, so we do digital ads, and those are for home valuations. And then we do any of our videos that are community tours get ads behind them, and then our listings. The listing video gets an ad, and then it's retargeted with the listing photos. So that always ends up getting us leads, whether it's a buyer for that property or just other sellers that want to make sure their home is marketed that way. So we do that. And then in our farm areas, we do monthly mailers, and
Mm,
then as well as sold or just listed mailers in our farm area. We don't send them to just if we have a one-off house not in our farm area.
right.
It doesn't make sense for us to do a just sold or, just listed
Hmm.
mailer.
Do you ever go into Remind and shrink your list to the ones that are more likely to sell to do your farming?
No, because we do EDDM. So that would just take too much time.
What's
Every
ED?
door direct through
Oh,
the USPS. Yeah.
gotcha.
So we do bulk mailings based upon areas
Yeah,
that
yeah,
way.
yeah. I get it.
And also, if they're not likely to sell, they probably have a neighbor, friend, family member we get lots of referrals from just because we're always, in their mailbox and
Hmm.
involved in the community. So we stay top of mind that way. So I don't mind it going to people that'll never sell.
So I'm hearing you spending a fair amount of dollars here on your advertising budget.
Yeah, so my expenses to run the team are 38,000 a month is my
Wow.
expenses. So that includes all marketing, salaries, office, lights, internet. If we have an activity or event, that's what we spend.
Wow. Are you the major producer on the team?
Not anymore.
Okay, that's even better.
Hmm.
Um, and you have an office, obviously.
Correct.
And do you feel the need for one?
So we are with a virtual brokerage, but we are an in-office team Monday through Friday. Wednesdays are work from home Wednesdays. All of the women on my team are moms, and my team is really structured around the way I wish I would have had a team or been able to work real estate. So really 9 to 11, 9 to 12, you can anticipate us being in office, and then after it's showings or um, appointments like that after. But we really feed off of each other's energy being in house, and then also we're able to get more content that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds great. So you don't do a newsletter,
We do a weekly e-blast, yeah.
okay? And so that's all going through email, and is that to your existing clients and past clients?
Not necessarily. We have a list of people from our CRM, people who have signed up. They can join our newsletter on our website. It goes out to about, I think, 6,000 people every week.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, you have a fair amount of expenses there. Are
Yes.
you well, I'm sure you're glad that you've got your team because you've created it and it took that all off your plate. Do you see yourself stepping out of production at some point?
I have for quite some time now, but I'm actually ready to step back in.
Yeah.
Just because my last child just turned 18. So
Hmm.
now I'm trying to figure out what to do with my hands, and I'm like, you know what? I could go back to work.
That's so funny because I'm at a stage where I have stepped out of production and I don't want to do it anymore.
And that might change for me, right?
Yeah.
I think it's just the season that I'm in. I'm 17 years in. I think fully I'll probably retire. I would imagine by the time I'm 45 is where I'm kind of like my goal is centered around.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I'm figuring this out still.
Right? Yeah. Do you ever you're with Real, right?
Correct.
Is Real in other countries yet?
Just Canada.
Okay, because I was thinking Florida has a lot of referral opportunities. I was thinking because you've got the Northerners moving to Florida, which are the snowbirds, and then they also move halfway back, like to North Carolina. Here I am, and we call them the halfbacks. So, do you do much in the referral with your team? Do you work that your database at all for that?
So we get a good amount of inbound referrals. Surprisingly, it's not as often that we send out referrals. And I
Hmm.
don't know if it's just our price point or like the age of our clientele. I'm not
Hmm.
too certain. But I would say for sellers, most of the time, if they are relocating in our area, they've already purchased that home and then
Oh,
they call me. So
oh,
it kind of happens backwards. It's
yeah,
not we need to sell to buy this.
yeah.
It's we bought this, we're moving, and so it's already
Handled.
done.
Yeah,
I,
gotcha.
I mean, I wish they would call me first.
Right. I've been very focused on the ultra high net worth going to international properties like
Okay.
Dubai, Italy. That's how I stay in the game where I'm a connector to different countries. And a lot of people in Florida buy second and third homes. So if you hear anything like that, where they're looking, you could refer it to me and I'll be the connector.
Absolutely.
That'd be great. Any other wise tips you want to share with us, girl?
No, I mean, I would just, why I said being consistent and constantly learning is that's how I've been able to grow my success. And so I encourage other agents to do that as well, is, even when times get a little tough, stay consistent, do the things that, make business.
It's funny. My friend, I have a sponsor also because I'm with EXP. I have a sponsor who said we've got this new thing for leads going on, and she goes, make some calls and see get people to the webinar. Said I will, and so I would send out emails or I would send out a text, and she calls me up and she goes, "Did you call those people?" I said, "No, I don't like to make the calls," and she goes, "Just do it." And so she goes, "Promise me that you'll do 10 calls today and have them come to this event." And I'm like, ah, fine. So I get on the phone and they just started going like crazy, which I don't, because they're not cold. These are people that I know, which you would think I would be comfortable with. I'm very comfortable talking to people, but
Yeah.
I just was bothered by that. But I'll tell you what, I whipped right through it. I got 5 people who said, yes, I want to be a part of that. And I was like, all right, I am a big girl again. I keep learning my lessons of what,
Go back to the roots.
yes. So, well, anyway, well, this has been great. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Lots of wisdom, and just know that you're going to have all her information on here, how to reach her team, how to get in touch with her. You're in the Jupiter area. Where else? What's your territory?
So we do northern Palm Beach County and south or and all of Martin County. So
Okay, great. And what's your price point? Who's your typical client?
averaged out amongst the team, we're around 1.6 million. So we have varied everywhere from like 10 million to 800,000. It
Mhm.
is really anything in between. We're happy to help.
That's great. That's great. Well, you heard it, everybody. That's it for us today. Erica has been wonderful. And if you'll be able to get all her contact information below, so you can reach out to her, you can reach out to me if you're up my way in North Carolina. And that's it for Real Estate Riches. I hope you subscribe and stay tuned to the next one. Thanks, everybody.